as
So
well.
if I go live, we're live.
Yeah, there's
Ladies
losers out there.
and gentlemen.
Look what I got myself.
The Beatles. Yeah, I've heard it already. Kidding. I've heard some Beatles.
It was $54 on Amazon, and they gave me a lot of credits because they sent me broken albums.
Oh, so you have a broken one to get rid of? Does the world need more Beatles records?
These are mono analog remastered. All the singles. They sent me this. I ordered that. I didn't know I ordered a used one, but apparently I did. But then, can you play this one?
Hold on. I can't see what you're doing. Well, some of it. You could probably get a few bucks for it.
Yeah, I think not. So they credited me and gave me $15.
Oh, so you got a $15 sweetener, kicker, as they say.
Well, then with my Eva Cassidy's, is this better?
Hold on. Yeah, it's good.
Maybe if I turn this off.
You're hot on one side. Hey, people are listening and watching. People are already joining us, and we're not even set up. Blumenstein is here. No, wait, he's not here.
I turn this around. I always hate.
That's left over from the last one.
No shadow.
Then you got this thing in the middle, which looks stupid.
For you, it does. For me, I look like some religious zealot.
I was going to get a yarmulke. You look kind of Muslim-y right now.
This is good. I mean, it's cool. It's 3 discs.
Which records are those again? Beatles?
It's all their singles that weren't on any of their albums.
I want to hold your hand.
It actually has their German. It doesn't have Penny Lane. It has their German versions of their songs, a couple of German. And then I went back, got that.
Is that the Herbie Hancock that I was bitching about?
Yep. And apparently I stacked them all up so someone could come and buy all of them. But I didn't need most of them. And I did get the Pat Metheny because I don't have any Pat Metheny.
That's a really good record. I have all of his stuff.
This is good.
It's very produced and very what's the word I'm looking for? It's big. It's not like a jazz combo jamming.
This is for sale.
4 Christmases.
But it has good songs on it. Has
who's on there?
Tom Petty. That's his good song.
He's good.
Has your favorite act, Gavin DeGraw? Didn't you mention him before?
All I know about him is somebody sang one of his songs on American Idol, and I said that's a good song, and it was Gavin DeGraw, and I played it on the guitar. The end. But I don't know much about him. We have at least 3 listeners, viewers, watchers. Tim Allen.
I know Tim.
Tim Allen.
Do you have hay fever or something?
I just had a couple of big sneezes, but I thought I took care of it pretty well.
You're very cokey right now.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out how to share this so I can alert all of our fans that we're doing this.
Well, I want to go. I want to go to your.
Oh, I know how to do it. No, how do you do it?
I don't know.
Bear with me, because if I share this, thousands of more people will know that we're doing this.
How do I share it?
You can share it. If it pops up on your YouTube channel as a thing, then you can hit the share button and share it to your community. Your social media. That's how we do it.
My social media don't know I'm doing this.
You don't want to know.
Don't know I have a YouTube channel is what I mean.
Is it a secret?
It's a secret. I don't see it on my channel. How do I make it appear on my channel?
Well, see, if you follow me and you go to my channel, it should be there.
I go to your channel and it's there. I can't put it on my channel.
There's a share button. Do you have a share button under my face?
What did you call me?
Share button. Share, like share. Like staying
So
in
I
shape.
hit the share button, and then what?
Can you create a post?
On my page?
Yeah. And then all of your people will see it.
So I'm hitting share, and it's giving me access to copy it, and it gives me all these other apps.
But isn't there a button up top that says create a post? That's a post within YouTube. we're gonna have a quick lesson on YouTube, guys. On my, I'm gonna pull up the.
So I hit copy.
Okay, I found it. I'm gonna have a quick lesson on YouTube, guys. On my, I'm gonna pull up. So I'm gonna hit the share button.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit create post. Live now.
On your channel, not mine.
Yeah. But you can share any video on YouTube. But if you don't have enough followers, you might not have a community tab.
Dude, I have over 200 followers, so stick it.
Do you have a community tab is the question. I'm gonna go to your channel.
I don't think so. I'm not that smart.
See, I put social media posts on my channel all the time. Let's see. I'm gonna go to YouTube, Rob Wax, blah blah blah. Bear with us, guys. We're just talking. Somebody else says hi.
Hi, guys.
He needs to say, I'm like doing 5 things at once. Thank you, Now Spinning TV. So if I go to your channel,
which I'm on my channel, I'm on your channel. So
that's a lot. So you have a discussion button, but yeah. I don't know. I don't think you have a community button yet.
Do I customize channel?
No. See, under the share button, here, let's do that. I'm going to teach you guys something. It's going to be awesome.
Go under the share button of where?
Watch. Just hold on. I'm going to share a window, and we're just going to learn a little something here.
Hey, I know that guy.
Okay, so on this screen,
yeah,
there's a share button.
Yeah, I got that.
And I have a share button that says create a post. Do you see that?
Mine does not say that. Am I not big enough?
You might need to grow to 1,000 inches or followers to get a share button.
I'm beyond 1,000 inch. I'm a beyond 1,000.
So create a post.
Yeah, I don't got a share button.
All of my followers will see that content, and that doesn't have to be a video. That just could be a picture, anything. Like I share other people's videos. I could share one of your videos. I could do that. I should start charging. Let's see, the waxed. See, what if we shared one of your videos?
Share the cicada video. That's a good one.
The guy from Chicago?
The cicadas. I recorded the haunting sound of cicadas as I was walking down the street.
And that's really what you want.
Math is shit. Because it's no skin off your nose that you're showing some guy or just cicada sounds rather than offending your viewers with my videos.
Well, I just shared with them your 39-year-old album of what was it?
I mean, not that I got a lot. I got some hate on that. It's like, what's the problem with you people? You didn't pay for that album, and I opened it.
Nick Rudo says hello. Now Spinning wants to come on with us. Should we let him?
It's your channel. If you throw caution to the wind, it's up to you.
But I'm sure Rob has a few hours worth of stuff.
I am naturally talented and spontaneous, so I could talk about any number of things.
So I'm sharing the clicky thing. So Mr. Now Spinning.
Well, if you share your clicky thing, it could get infected.
That's why you use where's my ointment? It's around here somewhere. I'm almost out.
Well, you should rub the ointment all over your face. There's Andy. Hey, Andy, what's going on, man?
Where's Andy? I don't see Andy. Oh, yeah, that Andy. Do I know Andy?
He's cool, so probably not.
Yeah, probably not. All these people have names about records in their name.
He's hip. He's a jazz fanatic like you, but he actually buys good albums.
Well, I specialize in buying crusty old albums that are scratched and then I throw them away.
Right. Your
This
hobo.
one was called Next Play.
He's a
Next
good
Play
dude.
Records.
He gets the really good stuff. It's not like he's buying a crappy reissue.
Well, some of us have mortgages. What can I tell you?
I did,
Next Play.
this weekend, and I had mentioned it to you maybe in a text, that Acoustic Sounds has 10% off for Father's Day this weekend. And so I didn't want to blow my budget that I had for both record store days. I ordered 2 of the Sam Records Chet Baker albums.
Sorry, I just got an important text from somebody.
Your doctor?
I can't even get into it. I thought you guys were trying to figure out the StreamYard share link. Yeah, I put it in there. I shoved it right in there. Did I not hit the button?
I don't know. Why you have a Jack Benny stance?
Rochester. I thought I shared the link already.
I don't know. I'm not about talking about technical issues for an hour.
I'm going to share it again. I'm sharing
Hey guys,
it again.
so you'll never see enough of this because I put it on my Instagram. So Amazon arrived. I got the Beetle Mono Master, and here's something for the VC people. So I also got a huge order of Vinyl Storage Solution sleeves, or like 125. This took 4 Frankenstein 4 sleeves to handle this, or like 100 trifold. So to get it to seal in the center, there's 2 sleeves that I had to cut down the line. Has anyone else had that issue with these sleeves?
I'm trying to run 7 windows here. What's your issue with your sleeves?
Basically, I was saying if you could hear, if you're mentally stable, can you hear anything I'm saying right now?
Now I hear you, but I was in a different window because somebody wanted the link. So what's wrong with your sleeve?
Do you know Vinyl Storage Solutions? I think they're a little above your price, willing to spend, Jack Benny. You are Jack Benny, right? You are.
Reincarnate.
For all you young people, he was a comedian from I think he passed away in the early 70s, but he was famous for being cheap.
I was going to use a fancier word like impecunious. Is that
yeah, well, that became fancier after he passed away.
And he had a sidekick named Rochester.
Yes. And most kids know it because there's a Bugs Bunny cartoon where Jack Benny and Rochester play mice version of themselves. That's how I learned who Jack Benny was. Because I'm not 100. I'm old, but I'm not 100.
Do you know Gracie's name and nickname? I screwed up.
Well, considering that Gracie was married to George Burns and not Jack Benny, you're thinking of someone else.
Is that the wrong show?
Yeah. Don't cram them all together.
Are you sure?
I'm 100% sure.
Gracie.
My
name's Grace, but you can call me
Gracie Allen.
But you can call me Gracie for short. That was her joke.
Yeah, but she had nothing. I think maybe in the TV world they were sort of neighbors. Am I wrong?
Okay, well, let's go back to some viewer comments. Yes, one of us got police records. One of us has enough police records already.
Actually, here's what I like to talk about. So Record Store Day was very good to me. I did a video of it, and a lot of people watched it. But I'm going to do a second video because I like to think that I'm a good shopper online, and I picked up another 4 albums that I wanted online after Record Store Day.
Mm-hmm.
And
on eBay or elsewhere?
No. Well, a friend of mine, a friend through the VC, Steve Westman. If you don't know him, follow his channel. He created the MoFi users group on Facebook. He's a big MoFi dude.
I may be a member of that, but
Yeah,
I
he's a
don't
good. He's from Vancouver. He did a video where he thinks the Link Ray album from Record Store Day will become a very valuable album based on his recommendation. Here's another thing people don't realize on Discogs, a lot of mom and pop drop their inventory on Discogs, and for whatever you might know more than this, Greg. For whatever contractual reasons with Record Store Day, obviously they can only sell it for retail. Where there's a funny wiggle room. My local store, I think, sold the records a little above normal. And so I got the Link Ray with shipping and tax for around $30. And then I also through the Ingroove, I got the both Steely Dans. Then the one album I was really considering because all fanboy is Bob Bradley, who a lot of people love in the VC. You know Bob Bradley, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was early on talking about the Egyptian Jazz album. Do you know this one?
Yeah, that was one on my list, and I'm into some Egyptian jazz, but
right,
I didn't get that.
Well, someone posted the whole album on YouTube, and it really is quite good. So I found a record store in Denver, Wax Tracks. Please, here's one thing I do, like teaching the way I shop. Obviously, I bookmark all these mom and pop stores from all over the country. A lot of mom and pops don't have the infrastructure to be online.
They don't have a phone or a computer.
They all use the same infrastructure. So it sort of looks like they all have sort of the same inventory. It's the same user interface. That's really hard to search through. I don't know if a lot of people know this. Oh,
you're talking about
you're surprising me. You don't know the Egyptian Jazz.
You're talking about their software that runs their website.
Yeah, I think it's a software company.
Shopify or some other crap.
I think it's a company that went out to all these mom and pops and say, subscribe to this software. I'm doing two things at once.
I'm doing two things at once.
Record store day,
so
here I'm posting the link to it, Andy, so you can see this album is good, and then I'll post the YouTube of the whole album. So it's a double disc. I got it for around 30. There only 1,300 were dropped for Record Store Day. And
are we on Egyptian still?
Yeah, I'm posting the link. I just dropped it. And I'm going to try and find the YouTube that has the whole album. But
we're not going to play. But
Bob Bradley had brought this up when he was doing when he looked at the list, and he said that the original version of this album was going for hundreds of dollars. And here I'm going to post the link of the whole album. It is quite good. It's great jazz and with that Egyptian kind of twist to it, if that makes sense.
I have a really good Egyptian record over here.
So I just did you you have that famous Amnor Sadat jazz album?
The I Was Still Alive version.
The one where they're signing the treaty and then he picks up a trumpet and starts wailing like Lee Morgan.
That one is actually pretty hard to find. This record is what you're talking about.
Right. I posted the link and someone.
Look at the technology we have here. Look how I take care of you guys.
Yeah, look how you post to eBay. So I got that. You got the Link Ray.
Where's the
got the both Steely Dans, and I'm very happy. Quiet Kenny, and
let's go slower.
Talk faster. You said,
yeah. After you said Egyptian, you said something else that I was going to ask about. See, I can't remember. You got to go slow with me.
Okay.
Egyptian. After Egyptian, Link Ray. So Link Ray, he has so little material available anywhere, and it's
So
So
this album,
that makes sense. Like if you want Link Ray, there's
yeah.
very few choices.
Well, most of it is instrumental. This album, the reason Steve Westman said to get it is because the original version, I think there was only less than 1,000 pressed, but it's him singing is the majority of the album, and people said it's quite good.
I'm flipping through here, and I'm not sure if I see the record.
You'll see it keep going, flipping and going
I went
really
by
slow.
price.
It's two different things.
I went by price.
There it is. It's pink. That must be that's a 7-inch. Keep going. Maybe people have bought it all on eBay.
I gotta put the
maybe if you put Link Ray record
I'm
store,
gonna put RSD in there.
Yeah.
RSD. That don't make no sense. RSD 19.
Very well. There it is. The pink one. Sings and plays guitar.
Wow. It's you could buy it for 35 and sell it for 39.
Well, I think it listed for 27-ish.
But
so it's not horrible.
In the future, if you put $35 in Link Ray CDs versus some small cap stocks versus cryptocurrency,
your sense of humor it needs some a Venn diagram.
Well, I can Google Venn diagram. Andy says, what does he mean? No doubters. What does he mean, no doubters? No doubt. Link Ray is a good reissue, but the music isn't great. Well,
I think it's very, very rough Buddy Holly-ish, but I think as an investment, if you don't open it, because they only made 1,500-ish, I think.
Well, like I say, there aren't as many Link Ray collectors out there probably as Hank Mobley collectors. But he could have a resurgence.
Wait. So what you mean is there are not a lot of Hank Mobley collectors?
No, I mean there's not a lot of Link Ray collectors.
But you were making a comparison just to Hank Mobley, which my knowledge is due to jazz, and Hank Mobley, Soul Station has been a very popular reissue that people are getting.
I'm saying there's a lot more interest in Hank Mobley than Link Ray is what I meant to say. If I said it backwards, I apologize.
Could you make a better comparison with maybe Link Ray is more like what's the surfing dude guitar player?
Dick Dale.
Dick Dale. That's a better comparison. There's a lot of Dick Dale fans. I know that.
But Dick Dale's records were made in much huger quantities, I'm guessing.
Because he was more popular and he was part of he did until he passed away. That dude was playing all the time in Malibu over here. Not
I saw him at the wait, here we come. Come back, Dick Dale. I saw him at the world famous Palomino in North Hollywood. Do you know that story?
No, did you catch his he threw his wet hanky at you and you caught it?
No, I just mean, are you aware of the existence of the Palomino, which was a very famous country rootsy club?
It was during the I did not live here, but during the urban cowboy time, I believe I'd heard it mentioned. Am I wrong about that?
It probably was mentioned, but there were a lot. It's even more famous than that. A lot of big name people played there. Especially in the country.
Well, did he shoot someone in the crowd? What's the story?
The story was not about Dick Dale. The story was, are you familiar with the Palomino?
Oh.
I got to see him at a very iconic club in North Hollywood, which was a block from the record store I used to work at. And it's a very iconic club that's no longer in business. Let's see. The Everly Brothers. Look who played there. Everly Brothers, Rick Nelson, Johnny Cash, Hoyt Axton, Willie Nelson, Patsy Cline, Buck Owens, and Dick Dale. One night, George Harrison, John Fogerty, and Bob Dylan got on stage. Okay. Very iconic. And if you want to talk about Valley trivia, The
A lot of people did cocaine in the restroom.
LA Times. So that neon sign is now available for viewing at the Valley Relics Museum in Van Nuys.
Okay.
And those cars were made by, do you remember the guy's name?
Yeah, he made the Batmobile, right?
No, you're
Barris?
thinking of George Barris.
George Barris.
George Barris's business is in North Hollywood, but he passed away. Mr. Nudie did all the country western Cadillacs with Longhorns and Elvis's sequin suit. So all that stuff is on display at the Valley Relics Museum here in beautiful Van Nuys. So someday we can make a trip of that.
Can I ask a question? Are you a tour guide of the Greater Valley area of Los Angeles?
Why not? Somebody has to be. I'm trying to add some educational value to this. Otherwise, you know what I'm saying?
Well, since most of the people on the stream, I'm guessing, do not live in LA, they could care less.
But they're going to come to LA, and
if they come to LA and they go to this museum thing, I'm going to yell at them. Go to the beach. Eat some of our delicious food.
Don't go to Hollywood Boulevard.
Don't even go into the valley. There's no reason to do it.
Well, most people would agree. But if you happen to find yourself stuck in the valley where it's always between 100...
Someone kidnaps you from the airport with a gun pointed at you and says you must go to this place, then do it. Other than that, come and go see all the crap that you've heard of all your life so you can take pictures of it like every other person and go tell all your loser friends back where you're from.
Why is everyone a loser? Very elitist of you to talk about losers.
I am not. I'm so not elitist.
Look how beautiful that is.
I'm a realist.
To go into this room
and
be surrounded by neon, it's really amazing.
You know what? If you have an urge to be surrounded by neon, come to LA and then go to Las Vegas and then go home.
But we're talking chipmunks here. We're talking Jack in the Box, Ronald McDonald.
Come on. This is no different than the Spam Museum for someone who lives in Minneapolis. It's, You know
what they have there is the door from the set of the Brady Bunch.
You know what?
The interior door, not the exterior.
Yes. You know what?
No one
Didn't care much for that door.
They what?
Didn't care much for that door.
No, this is one of the girls' bedroom.
I'd rather see Ambi Davis's corpse than the door from the Brady.
Look at this. So look at this place, My Brothers.
Yes,
that's a famous barbecue place on Ventura Boulevard.
It's since closed down, I'm guessing.
Since closed down, but I went in there once, and a gentleman came in with a cane, and it was none other than Jonathan Winters. And he yucked it up, and he just did shtick the whole time. And that was one of my great experiences, hanging out with Jonathan Winters. I'm the boss of this live stream, so you pay some deference.
I'm just different. I'm here to make you more sympathetic because I'm a moron. And
you're not a moron. You're smarter than me.
Might be off-putting.
I don't want to hear that you're smarter than me because we all know you're smarter than me.
I am no smarter than anyone else. I'm more cynical than most people, probably.
Tim Allen saw Dick Dale. He was amazing. And he was 80.
Dick Dale was a force of nature. I do know that.
Dave Ritter played at the Palomino, you're telling us? The Palomino? So I've seen, I saw Chris Isaak there, Tower of Power, Oingo Boingo. I don't know.
Now that's a better story than whatever story you told before. Tell the Oingo Boingo story.
The neon. I'm showing you where the neon is. Since they don't exist anymore, you can go see the neon. I have pictures of the neon.
For you people who do not live in LA, that neon museum, which probably is pretty cool. There's a local reporter that all this reporter does is go to places like that in LA.
Huell Hauser's been dead for 20 years.
Huell Hauser is a different thing, and people know him because they made fun of him on The Simpsons. He was PBS. I'm talking about a local morning reporter who goes to places like this, and they're not that many places. So on average, she repeats herself, and she's been to that place 3 times this year already.
Well,
And we're only halfway through the year.
oh, that place did an opening. They did a special art exhibit with the guy from the band General Public, because he also did
Dave
art.
Wankling? Dave Wankling? Because
No.
Rankin Roger passed away.
The less famous
There were only
guy,
two guys.
the guy who played
There were
bass with them.
two guys just as famous. One passed away, so there's only one left.
But they had a bass player too. I
No,
can't
it was
remember his
two
name.
guys. It wasn't three.
Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong band. It's probably the wrong
Dave
band.
Wankling, who I believe does live in LA, even though he's a British dude.
This was a British guy, yeah.
Dave, he's blonde. He's older and heavier set now
He was
than
gray by the time I was there. I can't remember. One of those 80s bands. Some guy from one of those 80s bands. Okay, Rochester. What was I going to say? I had something important to say. I can't remember what it was.
So do you want me to allow you to drift off into forgetfulness?
Well, if you can bring this back down to earth. I forgot what I was.
Let's keep it.
It's
Let's
funny
keep
to
it music-ish, because here's something
Yeah.
I'd like to learn.
It was something about one of those bands. Damn it! It was about.
Yeah,
the
but what was he doing? Did he go to the Neon Museum?
Neon Museum. I can't remember. So let's move on. And we'll come back to me. I should take notes. Brain notes.
So in LA, what's the club that people, the jazz club in LA? Have you been to that place?
I've been to many jazz clubs in LA, and
Well,
LA
I thought there's the one main one.
crappy. Well, the two that you should be aware of
Yeah.
over by you is Catalina's. It's in Hollywood now.
Yeah, where's the one that Chick Corea used to play weekly at?
Well, are we thinking of the Baked Potato?
No.
You know the Baked Potato?
Don't know the baked potato. I would have
Baked
said
potato.
baked potato.
The Baked Potato's in Studio City, and it's famous for studio musicians, as opposed to like
Not
cool
baked potatoes.
they serve for dinner. The dinner menu is baked potatoes. They're the size of a plate. They're $13. It's not my thing, but you want to get a spaghetti baked potato or a cheese baked potato.
Well, like
It's
a Wendy's
bar
where
food.
they put broccoli and cheese on it. or
Yeah,
something.
and it costs $15 instead of $2.
Yeah, and you're offended by the price of the baked potato.
Well, Catalina's.
What's the baked potato minimum? Just sit at the table and listen to jazz.
I've seen low end bands there for 20, and high end bands for 40.
Who's the low end?
It's very studio musician fusion. Like, it's not guys playing saxophones and hip traditional jazz. Catalina's,
That's the one.
that you know Catalina's, you know of Catalina's.
Is that the one that Chick Corea used to play there weekly?
I don't know about weekly.
He had a residency there,
Well, what decade are we talking about?
like recently, before the pandemic. He was playing there a bunch.
That probably would have been Catalina's. I'm checking. I'm looking it up. Chick Corea, Catalina's, and it's not named after Catalina Island. It's named after the lady who runs it. Its name is Catalina.
Pour water into a bucket that was.
It's named after the salad dressing, right? With the baked potato.
Did you see what's on screen just now?
Catalina has
There during the 1985. I'm not looking at the.
over many
Shit.
years.
Wrong button. Damn it! Don't move.
In all kind of different venues.
Don't
Man,
move.
you really want people to know about this Neon Museum.
I'm trying to. How do I do
Hey,
this?
it's almost like they're paying you to show this.
By someone like Catalina.
Don't move. Please don't move. I got so many windows open and
Hey,
screens.
Jason Ferguson is saying has some information that might be vital to you.
Now watch this, people. Watch what's going to happen.
Well, this is what he was doing during the pandemic. He was
He's talking about Catalina specifically.
okay.
Save Catalina. Did they save it? I don't know if they saved it. I hope they saved it.
In small clubs, especially run by someone like Catalina, has a special.
Can you hear that? I don't have the audio on to that, right?
Yeah, he's talking about saving. There was a GoFundMe. So why
Can
don't
you
we
hear-
go there?
Can you
GoFundMe.com for Catalina.
can you people at home hear him? Is what I'm asking.
I hear him.
How can you hear him?
I'm hearing it. I'm sorry. Should I be wrong about it?
I mean, are you hearing him through my stream, or did you open up at a window on your own?
I don't have it open. It's through your stream.
Oh, okay. I didn't know I had that capability. I did something
Okay.
that I didn't know how to do.
Right now, I'm going to post a link in the chat. They are trying to raise $175,000 to save it. It is at 145.
Wow. So you could flip a couple of those box sets and you'd have them right over the top.
I'm going to sell all the thousands of Steely Dan albums I've ordered online.
Yes, Jason. Don Randy. I know Don Randy and Quest. I know the musicians have to make money.
Hey,
I like the baked potato. I just wouldn't eat a giant baked potato every night. But I like their music, and they're one of the few good jazz clubs in LA. Yeah,
I understand that the way they get those baked potatoes so big is they're grown near a nuclear power plant. Another
nuclear waste accident site right here in the valley, largest one in the country. We'll talk about it some other time.
So another fascinating thing is I'm a big fan of Turner Classic Movies.
So
today they showed a lot of music documentaries. One, okay. Are you giving someone a massage? We're not playing charades here. I'm anti-charades. So they showed a bunch. The number one being the Thelonious Monk documentary, Straight No Chaser, which I just checked. And if you have Turner Classic Movies, you could log on and watch the movie at any time. It's available on streaming. They also showed Say Amen Someone. It's a gospel documentary. And I don't want to see, what is that?
Straight No Chaser. I was watching it this afternoon, and I took my favorite scene and turned it into a reel, an Instagram reel.
Okay, so, and then they showed the Jimi Hendrix documentary today too. So one thing I want to talk about too is my buddy was gifted, I forget, this very odd streaming service where it's sort of like a multiplex. They only show movies like kind of once, and they show them live. So I got to see this very fascinating Thelonious Monk. It was a documentarians, these German documentarians who followed him around the U.S. and they showed it's only an hour. And then he went on a tour of Europe and it's another hour. They showed these like a week apart. And it was right before Monk kind of just stopped playing, right, in 1968. Because I believe he became mentally, I believe probably most of his life he was mentally troubled. But
that scene I showed just now,
he's spinning
around. He does that throughout the documentary.
Right. In this other documentary, he does this kind of skipping and like this. And I guess his manager or something kind of thinks he's being funny and does it back to him. Mm-hmm. But I kind of feel like it was some sort of coping mechanism. So when you're watching this other doc, it's not Straight No Chaser. You kind of get the feeling that it's like the beginning to the end for him mentally. Because I know he passed away in 1980, but he didn't really do anything after 1968 or 69. Am I wrong about this? Do other people know more about him than I do?
I want to talk about the two documentaries.
You saw the other one that I'm talking about.
I'm aware that they made this for German TV.
Yeah, that's the one I saw.
And they gave all their footage to Clint Eastwood, and he made the one you saw on TV. It's the same, just kind of different edits, and I don't know which ones.
Yeah, there was no editing in the German stuff that I saw. There was no people talking about him, no editing. It was just straight footage. Yeah.
So if you look up Straight No Chaser, I'm pretty sure it's going to talk about a lot of the footage was kind of used. I mean, Clint Eastwood, the big jazz fan, as you probably know.
His son's a huge jazz musician, right? Kyle.
Son plays
Kyle.
bass, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if
So-
he's huge. He hasn't had as much success as.
So getting back to my point, was it your impression from the footage you saw
Mhm.
he was losing it?
I commented that to my wife as we were watching it.
Yeah.
I said, had Monk lived 30 years later, they would have known how to diagnose and treat him. And had they treated him, that might have tempered his musical brilliance.
Again, I know nothing of this, and
Do
I
you
don't want to
agree?
say, well, what I'm going to answer, what I'm going to say is in agreement with you, sort of.
I'll listen then.
I don't want to be flippant, and
Mhm.
I think it's very liberally used these days,
Mhm.
but he quite possibly could have been on the spectrum, could have had Asperger's. We do not
Right.
know. To be that kind of genius, I say this a lot with things of art. This guy's he's operating on another level. I'm going to be abstract and say the movie Rushmore, the second Wes Anderson movie, really. I saw that and someone asked me, well, what'd you think of it? Because I saw an early version of it. And I said, this is the future of comedy. Like I saw it and I go, this is going to change the way people make comedy movies.
Did you see that I showed Rushmore in my last video?
I don't watch your videos. What do you think I am, a
Jesus
fan of you?
Christ. That was a contest for Mr.
Yeah.
What's the guy's name? JT. You know JT.
JJ or the JT's music.
JT's Music Room show.
Yeah.
5 of your favorite movies. So anyway, I
found
mentioned
him
Rushmore
and
is one of my favorites.
Okay. Do you agree with my assessment of Rushmore when you
I
first saw it?
do. And the comment I made in the video is
Yeah.
this is the only movie where I sat down, had no idea what I was getting into, and I laughed nonstop the entire time. I did not stop laughing.
Okay, so getting back to the comparison I made abstractly about
We're back to Monk now. Going back to Monk.
well, so when he is so different than any other jazz pianist of his time. He's like operating the way I kind of embraced jazz when I started getting into it is I am no by means scholastically adept mathematically. I've learned math through my professional career, but I listen to jazz and it kind of comes out mathematically through my brain. And then when I heard Monk for the first time, I go, he's different. You know, he has this whole different style. And not to go tangent off too much. You know, the album that you first saw of my video, that Hassan Ibi Abim, who's kind of a disciple. He was influenced by Monk, and his style's even more Monk than Monk. So
his style has, I definitely heard some similarities without outright copying him.
So,
and he's not very well known, I don't think.
No, he actually made one album with Max Roach that came out. He recorded the album my friend's record label Omnivore put out that is my most popular video. I think I'm approaching maybe 3,000 views on that one. It was a lost album by Atlantic. Atlantic shelved it because they loved the dude. He got arrested for drugs, so they shelved the album. It supposedly got burned in a fire in New York. So they found acetates of the album, and that's why it came out. And it's very tone poetish. So back to that. There's a Max Roach album with Hassan as the pianist. I think Speaker's Corner has a version of it that you can get. He is very in the same kind of this odd, again, I'm not a musician, this odd kind of measure where he's off. It's like slightly askew, like Monk was. But to be that type of person, you have to be operating mentally in a different level, right? Am I right?
All right, I've got noise here. I'm trying to direct. I'm trying to bring up the picture of Hassan. But yes, I agree. We don't know. So what Hassan He had mental issues too, or legal
I
issues or drug issues.
No. Well, he got arrested for drugs, but this guy Oscar something Pope, who's a saxophonist who played on his album, said he was a different kind of dude, you know. And I think he lived out his years troubled in squalor. You know, he just these guys just it's the same story with a lot of people like that, I believe.
This guy too. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to show this yet because it's a preview. It's a sneak peek. No one has seen it, but Roy Brooks,
Was
drummer,
he guys?
and this is the whole Baltimore connection. Do you know the Left Bank Jazz Society?
Even though I grew up in Maryland, I grew up in the DC part.
I'm sorry, you're a DC, not a Baltimore.
I'm not
Anyway,
a Maryland dude.
it's a club that hosted a lot of concerts, and this is a concert. This is a 3-disc set concert from Roy Brooks that's coming out next Record Store Day. Roy Brooks had the same problems. He was
good? Is it good?
Yeah, I like it. I've listened to 3 out of the 6 sides. It's 1970, so jazz is sort of getting a little more it's not electric fusion, but a little more experimental, a little more freer. There's 3 discs and there's only 6 songs, so they're all 20-minute long improvisational songs. But the point I'm making is Roy Brooks's career also was riddled with mental illness problems, and when he would go off his medication, he would be completely unstable, and didn't end well. One of those stories.
It's too familiar of a story in my view, where you have these troubled people, artistic troubled people, but probably the source of their brilliance is their mental instability. Does that sound like?
Yeah, and you wonder if they would have gone on Prozac, their creativity would have dried up. We don't know.
Hey, Tim, where did you live in DC? But yeah, I mean, again, I've probably known people. Unfortunately for me, and maybe fortunately for me, I haven't known too many people with mental issues. So I have no realistic life experience with them.
I do.
Well, I mean, again, I know people that have mental issues, functioning mental issue people.
There's the normal and minor stuff: Asperger's, ADD, depression, anxiety. But then I also know people. I have a good friend who is on lithium, and when you don't take your lithium, you end up with
low lows,
felony convictions involving firearms. Bad things, things like that. So yeah, Roy Brooks was on lithium. I read that in the liner notes.
Nice, Tim. I grew up in PG County, and then Northern Virginia. So,
all at one. Okay, 3 places. Silver Springs. I was in Silver Springs when I was in DC.
That's a Jewy area.
I did a bed and breakfast with a Persian lady, and
that's a story I don't think I care hearing about.
Well,
hey, isn't that a George Harrison album, Bed and Breakfast with a Persian Lady?
I thought he was going Indian, South Indian.
I don't know. I'm just being this idiot. Those are my.
We're riffing. We're riffing here. Ron says hi.
You know what I'm in the mood for? A $12 baked potato.
They're probably 20 by now. But the baked potato has been there forever.
It's still there?
Yeah. They just had some shows the other day. Like studio musicians. I don't know if you would know the name.
How big is the
space? It's like the seating area is my bedroom and the stage is almost a bedroom.
As much as you probably fantasize, we don't know your bedroom. So you can give us other examples, like the dining area of McDonald's that most people have experience being in.
I'm going to show you pictures because I like to do two. So I Googled baked potato and I get a picture of a baked potato. So I guess I should Google Jazz Club.
I Googled a baked potato and the baked potato came up.
Yeah. Well, what I want to see, a lot of great live shows on YouTube. There's billions of them. Who did I see there? I shook hands with Jimmy Haslip. You probably don't know. He's a jazz fusion-y guy.
Yeah, I've heard the name before.
He played with the Yellow Jackets. So I'm going to show you some pictures, see if I can figure this out. This two screens at once thing is really befuddles me. Befuddle, that's a good word for me.
We're not playing Scrabble.
So there's the performance space on the right there.
Hey, can you be like Tim and Google your bedroom and shows pictures of it?
It's on what do you call it? Google Maps or whatever.
Oh, you got some guy that needs to be kicked out. This official not mod.
Yeah.
Dude, just delete him. Kick him out.
How do you do that? What a retard.
It's your stream.
Official mod.
Yeah, kick him out. The guy's
he's a real jazz fan, apparently.
He's a COCK sucker.
Sorry. I was playing with my baked potato and the other screen.
You have to be able to do 5 things at once with this streaming nonsense.
I'm trying, but I got you guys.
Here's what
I make you guys mods. How do I make you guys a mod?
I don't know, but here's the pictures are very helpful to show how big it is. But I want to see the baked potatoes they actually serve there, so I could be a judge.
We'll get there. Okay, so do you see who's on the screen there? Steve Lukather. So that's kind of the typical LA studio musician.
Oh wait, there's the baked potato. That's a good-looking baked potato.
Yeah,
it's got cheese and stuff in it, and
yeah, so it's like probably $20 to $40 cover plus. I don't know if you have to get dinner, but 2-drink minimum probably if you don't. Parking is kind of tricky. It's not a lot of parking in LA.
You have to tip your waitresses.
Got to tip your waitresses too. But it's kind of who's this official retard guy? Excuse my language.
Which one?
The one we kicked out.
It was a moron. It was just someone in here causing trouble. Don't worry.
I want to go home and come to his house and throw a giant baked potato.
You know what? He's related. He's Monk's nephew. He doesn't like the way you were talking about him.
I've said the only good things about Monk. I consider. Do you still want to look at a potato? I consider Monk to be the greatest composer in all of jazz. And most people would say, no, it's Duke Ellington. And I'll say, okay, I'm not going to argue with you. That's my Monk story. He's composed more songs that have been covered more times than anybody.
I get it, but can you do me a favor? I think this would be a cool affectation for you. When you're done with your story, just go like this.
Am I doing that to you or to Monk?
But just bow to the audience.
You look like an imam with that hat on.
No, I look like Monk. He used to wear crap like this. Dude, it's just, here's the reason I wear my hat backwards. I feel like the bill of my hat casts shadow. Yeah. And I'm phallically challenged. And
how's it?
Now you look like Bazooka Joe's sidekick or something.
Skippy. Well,
you look like you're friends with the beaver and you're hanging out at his house with Wally.
I don't have a comeback for that. If I put the lights on the floor I tried that. I tried putting a light on the floor to get up under the bill.
Yeah, I've tried everything.
Didn't work.
But the problem
I have a softbox here, the size of I have a giant softbox. Where is it? What the fuck is it?
You have a softbox in your bedroom?
Yes.
Now we know the size of your bedroom. Okay. It's the exact size of the baked potato. So
see how nice and soft that light is? See the soft shadow. And then I have a key light over here.
You know what? You look much better than me. So with your lighting, not physically.
Okay. He's talking about lighting.
You're better. You have a more ready for prime time look.
Totally lit tonight.
But to get back to I like this direction we were going with the discussion.
Monk.
Well, no, just more out of the norm of what people discuss when it comes to. You were talking about um, some people. You believe he's a better composer than other people.
Well, Duke Ellington, who deserves a lot of credit, a lot of people would say he's number one. He has a whole decade named because of him, the Jazz Age. No one else can say that. His two biggest songs he didn't write, Caravan and what's the other one? It's either
What?
Satin Doll or A Train was written by his sax player, Strayhorn, and Caravan was written by that guy with that.
Well, you know where Ellington was from, right?
You tell me he's from DC?
Yes. So, but I want to getting back to what I believe I like about jazz, and you can correct me,
I don't know.
in the improvisational nature of it.
Mhm.
So to specifically go to the composing aspect of it, like here, this album here is a tribute to Coltrane and Miles. On the back here, would I assume they wrote the songs that they're doing a tribute to them, right? So
Roy Hargrove he's a trumpet, right?
yeah, but so I'm talking about the improvisational nature of jazz music, and you're saying you're going with Monk is a better composer. So when people play a Monk song, how much of it integrally is true to what he wrote?
Well, but I can't answer that.
Or why?
What he wrote melodies that were unlike any other melodies. Some of them are super complex. Some of them are almost childlike in their simplicity.
Yeah.
But you can just listen to 2 or 4 measures of any Monk song, and you'll go, "Oh yeah, that can only be a Monk song."
Mm-hmm.
And you can't say that about too many other people. And the little hidden factoid, jazz musicians, if you see a lot of jazz live, musicians quote Monk in their solos constantly, and that's a secret sort of a secret handshake between jazz musicians. Oh, he just quoted Bemsha Swing. Oh, he just quoted Little Rudy Tootie. The audience didn't know, but the hip jazz musicians know that we're speaking the secret language to each other. He has so many melodies that can be boiled down to 2 seconds. No one else has that. No one else has a language of quotes, at least not that I know of. Like Miles Davis, he wrote almost no songs.
Yeah. Nice.
I consider him a greater performer than Monk, but I consider Monk a greater
you're judging it by go by who you saw, because I don't think you saw Monk in 1968, right?
No, but Monk's technique is so unusual and idiosyncratic. He doesn't have fluidity of the instrument like Bill Evans, who can just he pounds. It's his unique style.
Yeah.
But if you went to Berklee School of Music, you would have pages and pages of Bill Evans to play if you were a piano player, or Charlie Parker if you were a sax player. They wouldn't say, okay, play this Monk solo like Monk played it. That's not part of the canon of musical. His tunes and his compositions, yes, but the actual way he executed
is untraditional. They would not teach that.
It's super untraditional, idiosyncratic, bizarre. The way he held his hands, his fingers up like this.
Yeah.
It's like, is he serious? Is he mentally ill? No, that's just Monk. Well, it's all the above.
Right.
You can't view him through the lens of normal when he might be operating on a non-normal plane. That's my Monk spiel.
My Monk spiel is I grew up a Washington football team fan, and one of their best receivers ever was a guy named Art Monk, and he was related to Thean.
Didn't he become a coach or something?
No, he's in the Hall of Fame. I think he went off into the. He really is not a. He wasn't a very public guy. So when he stopped playing, he went away.
I think my son was telling me this story the other day about somebody Monk related to Monk.
Well, I'm sure there's lots of famous monks. Maybe they're all related. In my world, Hall of Fame wide receiver for the Washington Redskins at the time, Art Monk, related to Theonis Monk.
Napoleon Kaufman, not related to me.
Well, I grew up right near the Naval Academy. At the time, he was a star there, star running back, and then he was drafted by the Raiders. I think he did his obligation and served for 3 years, and then came back to football like Roger Starbuck and such. Is that why your frame of reference was saying his name? You grew up a Raider fan or something?
No.
Why did that name pop into your head?
We have the same last name. I usually don't reveal my last name.
Oh.
We're going to have to edit this part out.
His last name is Kaufman. You're Hoffman. So what's the difference?
Exact same spelling. You
With
don't
a
even
K.
know. You don't even know me, man.
Well,
How about Ezekiel Elliott?
I know you dislike paying $12 for a baked potato.
Well, if you want to dominate the conversation and have me get really quiet,
Yes.
talk about football. If you want me to line up like a Christmas tree menorah, I'll talk about chess. I don't know if you know that well.
Napoleon Kaufman. I don't know if he was Jewish.
Pretty sure he wasn't.
I'm not. I'm only referring to Art Monk, who was related to a famous jazz musician.
And I think I was literally discussing that with my son last week. My son knows a lot about football and baseball. He writes a blog about the Dodgers. He's a brilliant young man, believe it or not.
Does he has aspirations to do that sort of thing?
He's got a specialization in sports management at the college he's at now. And he has 2 different gigs that are tangentially sports related. One is the Dodgers blog,
Yes.
Dodgers Way. We should probably pull it up on the screen. And this other gig, he's working with a bunch of Major League Baseball players on a LA-based charity. He went to the board of directors the other day meeting. He had to present to the board of directors, including professional baseball players. I'm like,
of the charity or of the Dodgers?
Of the charity that's run by players.
What kind of work do they do?
They give out money to people in LA whose California, to people whose houses get burned down in wildfires and houses get eaten up by earthquakes and houses get slid down landslides. All the California-based disasters, which we're well known for here. Shootings, mass shootings, all those, California things that we specialize out here. They raise money and give money. I'll tell you more later. I don't want to embarrass the poor guy.
Well, I mean, you're spreading the word of the charity. It's not a bad thing.
That's true. Yeah, give generously. We haven't had a disaster in a while. It's about time.
We're in our heat spell right now, so that usually is when fires start.
100 and something. Where's my phone so I can see the
temperature? It's 30 degrees difference between me and you.
Oh, yeah. You're also in LA, but it's like you're not in LA.
No, I'm right near the shore, so it's always much cooler.
Weather. Unhealthy for sensitive groups.
Do you think people tune in to listen to us talk about the weather and one of the nicest weather places in the country?
Kids, we had 106 this week, but let's go back to music, rock and roll, jazz. What did I get this week? What did I buy at the Goodwill? Don't you want to know? Are you listening?
I follow your
Are you awake?
Instagram. Oh, wow. Show it, man. Show it.
The Council Thrift Shop, which is the old Jewish charity, old Jewish people. These records I don't really know that well, but CDs. Who's Lucky Thompson? I really don't know. But I know some of the...
What record company is that?
Three of these are from the same company called Fresh Sound Records, a product of the Jazz Workshop, Barcelona, Spain. Now, is Jazz Workshop anything to do with the San Francisco Club Jazz Workshop? Probably not, since it's in.
What year is the? Did that
Well,
come
this
out?
is a new release. This is a relatively new release of a very old date.
And someone tossed it at a thrift shop.
There's three of them on the same label, plus another one that might be from the same pile.
So probably someone had a bunch of promo copies. They dumped. No.
I like to use the word. Maybe they died. I don't know if they dumped them. There's a promo hole. P hole, as we call it.
That's an odd. Don't they? I've never seen a promo hole in that place. They usually put it through the UPC code.
Don't know if they did a UPC. So it says.
Tell me the guys while you're doing the heavy lifting. Tell me the guy's name so I can look him up.
Lucky Thompson.
Yeah.
Who I don't know. Marshall Solal. I know him. I have some of his piano records. Marshall with a T.
Oh, hold on. I'm not your secretary.
You don't have to tell me how much they're worth because that's
so Lucky Thompson was an American jazz tenor and soprano saxophonist.
Thank you.
Whose playing combined elements of swing and bebop. Although John Coltrane usually receives the most credit for bringing the soprano saxophone out of whatever
lessons.
Yeah, Thompson embraced the instrument earlier than Coltrane. He passed away in 2005.
Huh.
So,
well, this was
recorded the name of that album.
This is recorded in Paris in 1956. It's all just old standards for the most part.
So he was probably one of those through the cacophony, as you like to use that word.
Cacophony.
Of all those American jazz musicians who went to Europe to be better appreciated and paid, right?
Exactly.
So do you think if I typed on his wiki, which is here, the gamble of him being addicted to drugs of some kind?
If you want to go there, I could show you the other CDs.
Well, we don't want to zip through your finds.
True.
We want to know what you have. You yourself didn't know much about them.
I just found this yesterday.
How much did you shell out for those?
The Jewish thrift shop is $3 a CD or record now. I made a video of me flipping through the records. There was a big box of sort of like every Willie Nelson record. I probably told you about this already. Every Willie Nelson, every Merle Haggard, and some kind of offbeat heavy metal, Saxon and Whitesnake.
Dude, you should have grabbed
beat up. They're all beat up.
Oh, okay. Hobo copies, as I like.
A lot of them said $1 on them, and from when Amoeba threw them away out of the bargain bin, and literally $1 Amoeba stickers, and this place wants $3. Okay, I can't really read all this, but there's some liner if you want to read them. But Pierre Michelot plays on here, bass player, I think. So there's some people that I do know. Marshall Solal and Pierre Michelot.
Did you really pronounce those correctly?
I put the little Frenchy accent on
them. Those are. Did you listen to them? I bet they were very good.
I threw them all in the multiplayer. So I can't really tell which one I'm listening to at any given time. I listened to some of it in my car. I listened to some of it on the multiplayer out in the back while I was trimming some bushes, California style. Oh, darn it. The discs are still outside in the multiplayer. The discs are really cool because it's a photo. It's a black and white photo of him on the actual physical disc. So I left those in the machine accidentally. I figured I'd have more yard work. Except is Miles here? Nope, Miles too.
Which Miles is that?
This is one I never heard of. This is one of these, hey, we recorded a club gig and we put it on a CD with nobody's permission. It's one of those deals. Stan Getz.
Would you call that a bootleg or no?
Well, but a semi-legitimate company put it out. So it says... like a true bootleg has no label on it. A true bootleg, nobody's willing to say who put out the record. Jazz
Can you
is a
entertain
little,
the people while I go grab what I acquired this week, or no?
oh my God. I got to entertain you people. Hey guys, Rob Walker says,
He's being nutty. He
did I already show this? Earthquakes, fires, mass shootings. You forgot landslides. What else do we have here? Landslides. I had a coyote running down my street the other day, 2 days ago. And we have the Kardashians and Caitlyn Jenner in the same household, which is like 2 miles from here. If you really want to, the craziness that's going on here in California. Rob, are you still with us? Rob, wake up there. Here comes the other Rob. I got 2 Robs. Rob Walker, British fan of 80s rock, etc. I'm talking about you, Rob. And hang with us, guys. I'm going to tell you about my Miles, my Sonny Chris, and my Roy Brooks. What's taking Rob so long?
Well, I'm pulling up a ton of crap. So I played a trick on Greg this week. That was kind of funny. So I posted a picture of all these very quality jazz albums that I said, look what I found at Goodwill. And your response was quite hysterical to me.
What did I say?
That it made you suicidal that I found these albums.
Yeah.
And then I said, no. So I was very curious because there's this British Rob Walker, Zavvi, which is an online retailer, I think in England, in Europe definitely. And every year they do this jazz mystery 5 album. Sometimes they do 10 mystery set that varies in price. Right now you can get it for $35. I think you can go online and find a free shipping coupon and they'll send it from Europe to you. These titles, you don't know what you're going to get. Some are open, some are shrinked, but they're definitely very popular titles, and they all come from that Italian pressing, the Italian company, Diacosti. Do you know them?
No, it's only from you. It sounds weird.
So one of them was this album, which is funny because when Greg and I went out last week to a hi-fi show, Greg got the Tone Poet version of this. This obviously is not the Tone Poet. It is it's pretty. Here, I'll take the label out because I put it in it's pretty, not horribly made copy, but it has this gold, foil reflective thing in it. At the bottom, the company is DE space AGOSTINI, Diacosti, whatever. So this it's on 180 gram vinyl. It sounds quiet and flat. It's obviously probably digitally sourced. It says on here that they licensed it from Universal. So it is a license.
I don't think it says that.
It says it right here.
No, but that's what the original cover looked like.
No, I understand, but it is dated 2016, and it is licensed from Universal.
Okay.
They put it on here. So
I'm gonna say thumbs up then.
So this sounds very good, and I'm pretty happy with it in my kind of low-level system. So
that record is not the recording was not an audiophile record to begin with.
So the other one I got, which I do have a good version of this.
Mm-hmm.
There was a Columbia reissue remastered. I think it's digital that you can get for around $30 that a lot of people say is great. This is their version of it from 2016. This is sealed.
Mingus from 1959. See how much I know?
I have the analog Cofab with Verve version of this, the single 33 that it for a long time was selling for $22 on Amazon. This is their version of it from 2016. You know, a fascinating thing is there was a magazine in England called Paste. I don't know if it's still published, but they used to give you a free album every month, and I think it came from these albums. So I got 5.
Did you open and listen to? Because that's
I didn't. I'm not. I opened. Oh, here's the best one. The best one is this one.
Nice.
This
Eric
sounds
Wilkie.
awesome, and
Okay.
it is
Great.
licensed from Universal and Blue Note.
Mhm.
It sounds quiet, flat, and it sounds great. So I know they're coming out with this as part of the Blue Note Classics later this year. I will buy it and compare it. But for $35 to get all these albums was crazy. So that's.
I'm looking at their website thing.
I'd say
And-
go for it. I'd say order it.
Is it on the screen? Did I bring it onto the screen? Here we go. How do I do this? Don't move. There they are.
Well,
70. What happened to 30?
$51.
What
It was
happened to 35?
It was 35. I don't know where you're pulling that from. I paid 30.
Zappy's website.
Maybe they jacked it back up now that they're running out of them. I paid 35.
Well, 35 is a heck of a deal.
They only had a certain amount. Maybe they raised it when they were running out of stock. Last year, when they were liquidating this, it went down to $10.
The whole set.
Yeah, the whole set.
That's crazy.
Oh,
We're
can I-
giving free advertising to
Yeah,
Zap.
they don't sell a lot of vinyl on the site. They're
They
mostly
got a lot of other nerd and
movies and Funko
Doctor
Pops,
Who.
kind of tchotchkes from stuff.
Note their choice of TV shows. Nerd.
Well, you know,
Nerd.
calm down. Let's not rub people's noses in their hobbies. Someone can call you a nerd. So
I'm a jazz nerd.
here's another fascinating thing. So
Oops,
This
where am
band- at Record Store Day at about 5 record stores in the LA area, this band, Neon Moms, put out I didn't open it yet, a free album. It's a whole album. They gave it away free on Record Store Day at my record store. I went online and looked up and listened to it. Hey, there's my friend Steve. So Steve, meet Greg. Greg
Steve
meets
got
Steve.
Hi, Steve. Steve got a plug earlier today. We talked about him for the first half hour.
We didn't talk to. He doesn't deserve a half hour. Steve's not that good of a guy, but I talked about him because he's a good guy. And everyone go subscribe to Steve's channel. He is a very intelligent about MoFi. He knows a lot. In fact, he's a huge Beatles fan and a Beatles collector. And I didn't show Steve this. You know, Steve, I got the Mono Masters. I think I texted Steve and told him I got this. I listened to it. It's great. I recorded a video.
I'm
All
sure
right.
you texted everyone you know when you got that.
My mom, who didn't even give a shit. So this album they gave away for free. Go to their site and listen to them. They're not half bad.
Neon Moms.
Neon Moms. They're kind of two guys. Rock, kind of like semi-hard rock. It's pretty good. All right. I went to my Goodwill, found this. This is an 80s alternative band.
Can you talk without me for a minute?
I could talk forever. You could probably just go away the rest of the video. So I got this. If anyone knows this band, Beat Happens. This is it looks like a private label press, but it is a popular album. People know this band, and not bad. 1985. Alternative band. I think they're either from Oregon. Olympia, Washington is where this was record labels from. All right. Found this one, a double album. Country Music Hall of Fame, high fidelity, double disc, gatefold. A lot of good acts in this one. Well, so Tim, do you know that band? I looked them up. I found this album, Jazz Omnibus. It looks like it was sort of a best of this year. I think it came out in '57. It has a lot of good people on it. Miles, Dave, Jazz Omnibus.
What is this? Jazz, what's a Jazz Omnibus?
It looks like it's like a best of '57 kind of album.
Oh, it's Columbia.
Yeah, it has a lot of hip artists in '57.
Miles,
Dave, Duke.
Miles
Everybody
just
love
joined Columbia.
Is the band that I believe. So Tim knew that beat happening. And then I found a pretty copy of Linda Ronstadt at the Goodwill. Heart Like a Wheel, great album on Capitol.
What good song is on that, if any?
It's her big giant breakthrough album. It supposedly, When Will I Be Loved? And You're No Good.
With
Heart Like a
Leland
Wheel.
Sklar on bass and Waddy Wachtel on guitar. I'm just guessing.
Say again.
Leland Sklar on bass, Waddy Wachtel.
Leland Sklar played with everyone. You ever go to his YouTube channel? He tells all his good stories.
Very good YouTube channel.
Yeah. Andrew Gold's on here. He played a lot. J.D. Souther. David Lindley. Peter Asher. I think Peter Asher produced this.
Rob is
Emmylou Harris.
There you go.
And Thelonious Monk's on there.
Yeah. His later period when he went a little bit country and she was a little rock and roll.
You silly Willie.
It's okay. She's an acquired taste.
Oh man, that was exhausting having to take over for you for like 3 minutes, I
Go
think.
to the kitchen and get some water because the Indian food made me so thirsty. Dying of thirst here. Gotta stay hydrated.
It's salty.
Gotta stay hydrated out here where it's 100 degrees in LA. Let's see.
It's like 20 or 30 degrees difference.
I'm gonna grab a pile of CDs over here.
It's 62 where I live right now. Approaching 10 o'clock.
So I showed you the Real Money Jungle.
Yes. Well, not the real one, the Tone Poet reissue.
Tone Poet. And this costs as much as your whole stack of records there. Keep that in perspective.
I'm a better cheap ass bastard than you are.
You are. Because when I buy cheap, I regret it because I don't buy value. I buy cheap.
Right. You don't know how to look on Discogs before you purchase.
Typing while shopping makes me too crazy.
Well, you know what? Here's what I do. Heart Like a Wheel, vinyl, and then it comes up. I don't even type. I say it into my phone.
I was going to do that in the Will today, and it's like such a small store, and everyone could hear me, and I'm already annoying them.
Here's the difference between you and me.
You don't care who you annoy.
I don't care who I annoy. I do realize I do annoy people, but I don't care. And I'm not screaming it into my phone. I go, Linda Ronstadt, Heart Like a Wheel, vinyl. You don't have to yell into your phone.
So you probably don't have a personal relationship with the Goodwill workers at your store?
I totally have, but the Goodwill stores are fairly large, and they are dealing with other morons besides me.
Well, we have these little bookstores. We have the big stores, and then we have the bookstores. Do you have the bookstore mini stores?
You live in a more uppity, fluppity area than I do.
The one I'm talking about is on Valley Circle. It is the gateway to Hidden Hills, where all the Kardashians are. It's a high-end neighborhood, but it's a tiny store, and the records are right next to the counter where the guy sits.
Yeah.
So to get on my knees and look for the records, my head is
Wait. Can we edit that clip? Get on your knees. We'll save that.
my head is
Bye,
nearly
Rob Walker. Have fun at your boot sale.
my head is nearly up the guy's butt when I'm
Whoa, wait.
his
What
cash register
what
is
goodwill
right next
do you go to where you have to stick your head up someone's butt?
I'm telling you, the position of the counter where you check out and where the records are on the floor, I'm on my knees, and these two people crammed in the counter, and I'm like this far from them, and I'm like, I wish they would move.
Yeah, I think you have some sort of spatial
Awareness problem.
well, your depth perception is off. If we had a camera on you when this was happening, they were probably easily 10 feet away from you.
The record rack is adjacent to their space. He could be standing at the cash register and touch the record rack like this. And so that's where the entire time I'm in the store, I'm within 2 feet of him. And it's not I don't like the personal space aspect of it.
No, Tim, near me, Greg came to visit me, and I took him on a nice tour of the shops I go to, which he will admit are probably above average. He graciously pulled out a Vinyl Me Please at the Salvation Army near me and let me take it, which was weird. And then, but I did VCLT him on the spot, like 6 or 7 CDs. So
does CDs count as a VCLT? It's close enough for me.
I think you would have taken kibble as and be happy with it.
No one's complaining.
Yes.
So stuff that I've got at the Goodwill that I want to sell.
Yeah.
This is a $30 to $35 CD. Alex Chilton. You know him.
Yeah. Yes.
Big star. 2-disc set.
Give me a minute of an airplane. I have Alex Chilton CD over here.
Well, the box tops, he purposely gravelied up his voice so he didn't sound
16 years old. He was 16 years old when he sang that song.
He purposely made himself sound older and added the gravel to the voice. He left right as I was getting to the big reveal here.
I'm
Tim
here.
Allen, what city are you in there, Tim?
I'm here. I'm here with you.
Tim, what city are you in that you don't even have a Goodwill? Are you in North America?
Yes, he is. I know that.
I'm being slightly facetious. But
Well, I heard the inflection. See, my buddy's company put this out. This just came out.
oh, that's pretty cool. Let me do a blow up here. Is that really weird record of Alex Chilton's? It's like experimental.
No, it's more of, he's kind of known to be kind of a somber-ish dude. This, he's playing with a horn section. It's sort of him being a little more upbeat and stuff.
He's in New York, Mr. Tim Allen. Do I know any of those tunes?
Yeah. You sing this to your wife all the time. Boogie shoes. Put on your boogie shoes.
Maybelline and Lucille and Kansas City. So this is kind of a 50s boogie throwback.
But he's playing with a horn section.
He had an untimely demise a few years ago, right?
More than that. This was recorded in 1999.
No, his death was but maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
Maybe.
He had a heart attack while mowing his lawn, I think, something like that.
I don't know if he was a lawnmower kind of guy.
He liked to cut the grass, as they say.
By the way, I showed this album because I have the record store version of this album that was cut by Kevin Gray. Because there's a complaint within the VC that there's not a lot of audiophile of Art Pepper. But this is an awesome album.
Is that the one you showed today on Instagram?
Yeah. That's the one I had. My friend did not give that to me. I found that on the internet because
are we talking
there are no copies
CD?
of it. But he gave me
vinyl or CD?
No, the vinyl. It's clear vinyl. It was numbered, clear vinyl. I think they might still be selling the vinyl version on their website, so you could go to Omnivore. But he gave me. They put it. They have a relationship with Art Pepper's widow. So
Who Omnivore does?
yeah. So go to their site. They have this great Art Pepper collection. It's got a lot of crap on it.
Yeah, there's someone inked out the UPC because they gave that away free apparently.
Yeah, no, he gave it to me.
How do I get on that gravy train?
Well, you have to be nicer to me.
To you. What about him?
You know, I got this, which one of the best albums I bought this year. I'm going to get up again. I'm sorry. Is this album.
Thank you for correcting me, Tim. I knew it was a heart attack.
Alex Chilton, but he wasn't mowing grass, was he?
No, the guy from Toto died mowing his grass.
This album has to be one of the best albums you can get right now. So Eva Cassidy was the singer from DC who passed away when she was 33. She recorded this this is a 4 album set. They have a 45 version of this, which is 8. And people, this is audiophile quality. She recorded this concert. 9 months later, she died of undiagnosed skin cancer. It was untreatable by the time they detected it.
How could you not know you had skin cancer? If it's like...
You know what? As much as I look like a doctor, I am not a doctor. So
it's a sad story.
This, I cannot recommend this album enough. It fluctuates in price on Amazon. I got it for $45. It could go as high as
$80. That for you at the sale?
Huh?
I thought I found that for you at the sale.
What sale?
The Long Beach thing.
No, this wasn't. I got that at the Long Beach. I got this on Amazon.
Oh, the other one you got at Long Beach.
What did I get at Long Beach? I got Katie Lyde, Steel Mo-Fi of Katie Lyde.
But you got Ava.
No Ava. I got Lennon Greed Jazz, the Impex 45 version.
Okay, you didn't get Eva there. I thought
Eva. No, it got Eva at the Salvation Army when we were together.
Did I find it?
No, I found it.
I'm trying to give myself credit for doing something.
You found the Vinyl Me Please of Beach House.
Yeah, I did that. How much did it ultimately sell for? We don't know.
The Eva? Oh, you know what? Here's actually, you are sort of right.
Beach House.
The guy was selling the vinyl version of this album for $150.
Yeah, right.
I did not buy it.
I found that, and I thought you bought it.
No, I have
and
the CD I got for $2.
If you would have bought it.
The math. This is where I'm unlike with you. I would have loved to bought that album for whatever. I'm not paying $150 when I got the CD of it for $2. Because all the songs she does on here are on here live. Do yourself a favor. I'll post the link. This is longer, but there's an hour concert of her doing this. They recorded her at a very low quality.
Oh, excuse me.
It's genius. You will, and it's so somber. Even though she's a beautiful voice and a great singer, it's somber because 9 months later she died. It's sad, but it's a good album.
That seems pretty sad.
I didn't mean to bring you all down, but so I found a brand new copy of this, which I haven't opened yet, for $2.
Hold on, what is it now? $2.
Yeah, this is sealed.
I have. That probably goes for $50 or $60.
No. I'll show you one that does, but
the vinyl of that's expensive. I have the CD.
No one's buying it from me. Oh, this is good.
Oh my God.
Neil Young Unplugged, sealed, $2.
That's nice. Yeah. Okay.
And I have that famous Mingus concert at Carnegie Hall, sealed,
Hmm.
doubled CD set, $2. It's over there, but I don't want to keep getting up. Oh, we got this together too.
Together. Did I get a copy? I think I got
Yeah,
a copy.
there were 2 copies of it.
It's somewhere strewn about this room. I don't know where it is.
This was put out when Starbucks got into the record business for 5 minutes.
The Nora Jones. Starbucks became the Nora Jones sound listening room for a while. I forget what that record is that you just showed.
It's Herbie Hancock Possibilities. Basically, him and a bunch of
Duets.
all-stars doing duets.
Got it. That was a big thing.
Santana, John Mayer, Christina Aguilera, Paul Simon, Annie Lennox, Sting. Yeah, bunch of people.
Bunch of people who shouldn't be in the same room with Herbie Hancock, but that's okay. I'll try
Well,
not to.
you're an elitist. And here's another one I got, but I don't know who this guy is. Do you know him?
Gordon Johnson.
Yes, it's jazz from 2002.
It looks like it might be smooth jazz if you're not careful.
Well, here's how much he feels strong about himself. It tells the people to label it, to put it in the jazz section. File it under jazz.
Is there anybody known on there, or is it a label that it needs to?
Tommy Monk, Dizzy Davis. They're all like cousins of a famous jazz musician. Did you ever, that movie Moving Violations, the comedy?
Wait a minute. Gordy Johnson. I'm thinking of somebody else.
Gordon Johnson.
What's your story again?
So the movie Moving Violations, very funny movie from the 80s about a bunch of people who got tickets as they're taking traffic school. I think the same writers who did like Police Academy and stuff, but every actor in it is a sibling of a famous person. It stars Bill Murray's brother John and Stacy Keach's brother Frank.
So they're celebrity adjacent.
Yes,
which is a good way to save money.
But it is a funny movie.
Moving Violation.
It's a highly recommended movie.
Netflix. Is it on Netflix?
There's a website called Just Watch. You type in any film there, and you can tells you where you can stream it.
But it doesn't recommend what to watch, though. That's what I need. I need to know what to watch.
Ask me. I'm a movie encyclopedia. I can always recommend a movie to watch.
Because my wife is going through. Did I tell you we do Netflix on the DVD where they put it in the mail and they send it to you?
Yes.
Because on streaming, they don't have a lot of good movies. I mean, they do, but there's a bigger catalog that's not streaming. So
I'm not here to hear your life story. Just ask me what movie to watch.
I was trying to tell you what we like.
What do you like?
What do we like? My wife watches all these Masterpiece Theater murder mysteries. There's a murder show from every country.
Yeah.
I keep saying,
one of my favorite
Sweden.
One of my favorite actors is an Italian actor who made a lot of spaghetti westerns, Terrence Hill. He spent the last 20 years on Italian TV playing a priest who solves murders. But I forget the name of it.
Well, that's Italian because there's a British show like that.
Well, there's an American show like that too.
A priest?
That solves murders, yes. I think Tom Bosley played him.
That was a while ago. Terrence Hill?
Terrence Hill, Hill.
I can spell
He
Hill.
was famous in spaghetti westerns. But
I can spell Hill.
Terrence Hill.
Okay. Of course, I'm having problems getting my thing to work.
That sounds like a personal thing.
I'm sharing it all with you for sympathy, though.
I am the most unsympathetic person in the VC.
You're like the Jerry Seinfeld, and I'm like the George Costanza.
Yes, I am.
It should be the opposite.
I'm even Jerry.
It's not fair. Yeah. You're up, you're down, it all evens out.
Yes.
I'm trying to look up this guy, and like I said, I'm having problems with my equipment. There he is. I'm trying to see if I recognize his face.
You have to. He starred in so many spaghetti westerns.
And at his age now, he looks like
He's like 80, but
he
he's
looks
very
80,
youthful.
and he's handsomer at 80 than most men were in their
He's
entire
very
life.
youthful. In fact, there's a movie on Amazon Prime he just directed with him in it's a light comedy, but
It's only light now.
he has a show for like 20 years where he plays a priest who solves murders.
But it's in Italian.
Dude, you just said your wife likes these shows from all over the world. I try.
She does. I have to watch this. I have to read the subtitles.
Thank you for being ungrateful for my help to you.
I don't know what show to watch. I know there's a guy named Terrence Hill. But what's the name of the show?
Oh, well, I could be more helpful and look it up. But Tim, so far, all Tim's been doing is agreeing with me.
Italian Murder PBS.
Dude, you're actually going to pull up like a true crime nonsense.
I'm looking for the one that we watched. Because people enjoy watching other people Google. I've heard. Let's see what Tim says.
It's called Don Matteo is the show. Don Matteo.
Who's going to remember all this?
He did it for 20 years.
Here's an Italian murder mystery crime thriller. I'm going to show you that we just watched. It's really good. See if I can make it happen. See if I can make my equipment work this time.
It was Bud Spencer. Tim.
Oh shit! What did I just do?
They did the Trinity movies. Did you just pull up some porn?
Well, this is an Italian murder mystery called Thou Shalt Not Kill. And this lady is the head detective. And she's also like Miss Italy 27 or something.
She's also like 20 years old. How could she be a detective?
Well, that's the what's the word? The deceit of film. But it's actually a very good show, and she solves murders, and I think her father murdered her mother, and it's a long. So PBS has all these shows. There's a Belgian one, there's a Swedish one, there's a Spanish one. I just come to my wife. I say, "What country are we murdering in tonight?" And she says, "Okay, it's Belgium tonight."
You know what would make that your whole experience with your wife even better?
Please tell me.
Is if you cooked a meal that fit the show you were watching.
Well, let's go to Belgium.
Yes, and have some
Professor T. Have you seen this guy?
No.
Professor T is a criminologist, fully Asperger spectrum nut job. Oh, he plays a really nice turntable with like classical music in his office all the time. And
what country is this from?
Belgium. PBS.
So next time you watch these shows, make sure your meal is from that country.
I can have a waffle and a beer.
Yeah, and some French fries or pommes frites or whatever.
Pommes frites.
Yeah, pommes frites.
This is a very good show.
Okay.
And, he's quirky, and it won some.
I'm more interested in that office chair underneath him than that show.
That seems kind of condescending. That's a condescending, insulting thing to say.
What if that chair is the main murder suspect? An inanimate object killed the man.
Well, Professor T, and they speak with, and it's all subtitled, so you gotta.
What does the T stand for?
Well, whatever his name is, it's some long name. I don't know. Jasper Teerlink, it says right here.
Oh,
Jasper.
That Teerlink, it rolls off the tongue like
it's Jasper. It's Jasper Teerlink, and he has a sassy secretary, and the president of the university always tells him that he has to play by the rules.
Yeah, come on. I've heard this story 5 million times.
But because of his Asperger's, he has visions all the time. It's a very good show. And there's some very gruesome murders. They do stuff in European TV that we don't do here in the U.S.
Yes.
Anyway, enough of that.
Yeah, thank you.
So, someday you'll give me a good list of movies.
Well, I am an encyclopedia. I could always find something that someone likes.
Well, it has to be in the Netflix DVD queue.
Again, I might have said this to you. With your library card, you can get like a bunch of free streaming services.
I just hooked up for one yesterday.
Which Hoopla or Canopy?
The music one. I got free music streaming, baby.
From where?
LA Public Library. Where's my phone? And I used it all day today and yesterday.
Right. High def.
It's like Apple. It's 256 bits of megabit or whatever it is.
What were you listening to?
Freegal.
I think that service is not for music. I think it's one of those under shady.
The bad news is I kept saying sign up. They never sent me a Freegal. It's Freegal. It's like free legal.
What's the name of the app?
Freegal. And if you have a library card, you can get it for free.
Yeah, I have a lot. Here's the great thing, and I don't think a lot of people know this. I live in Santa Monica, so I get a library card from the city. LA County Public Library, as long as you live in the state of California, you can get a library card there. Did you know that?
No, because I've always lived in LA County for the last 40 years.
But I'm just telling you, isn't that fascinating?
Good to know. If you live in Bakersfield, that would be good to know. Now, I also have a Calabasas library card. They only have one library.
You don't live in Calabasas.
I'm this close to Calabasas. They don't care.
I understand. This doesn't make you live in Calabasas.
You don't have to.
You're adjacent.
And their brand new library is like the Taj Mahal. It's beautiful. It's got everything. It's got wood and everything.
Because it's a fancy. All their residents are rich there.
It is a very fancy, posh place. Calabasas. Come on out and see Calabasas.
Yeah. Again,
it's the new Beverly Hills.
In here, they're not going to Calabasas.
It's the new Beverly Hills.
The only place to really visit in Calabasas is the Commons, which is just like a strip shopping center.
Well, Calabasas is where Kobe crashed his helicopter.
He didn't fly it. The chopper pilot crashed.
Somebody crashed something.
Actually, I have a very eerie tale to tell about that night. I was driving back from Santa Barbara.
Should I put on spooky music? Ooh, something like that.
Well, you don't put it on when you actually do the spooky music.
Okay.
So I was driving back from Santa Barbara where a short film I produced premiered at the film festival.
I didn't know you produced some films.
Yeah, I produced a short film with Angela Bassett and Peter Krause. So it premiered at the Santa Barbara Film Festival.
Wow.
And I was driving back that night before the crash. It was pea soup out. It was so foggy. I was afraid driving back. And I'm going, no one should be driving in this like I was. And the next morning when I woke up, because I got home late, the plane crashed, and I go, makes sense, because it was pea soup out there. That's my story.
Thank you for the pea soup story.
I'm sure you're impressed by that story.
I remember sitting here in this room, and my son is yelling. There's yelling down the hall in this house. I get up and I go running down the hall, and my son is telling my wife that Kobe died, and she's shrieking. We're not even basketball fans, but it was a weird thing.
Iconic person.
He was.
In the town, and it was with the daughter made it very sad.
And they were all going to a a basketball thing right out here in Thousand Oaks.
Right. He did that all the time, though. He flew that chopper from down in Newport up to here, right? All the time.
Yep, I remember that was a Sunday. My son and I went to the car show that morning, and you don't need to hear my whole life story.
Well, but tell us. I have to fall asleep soon, so I need
Well, I was born
rather than
in
taking a melatonin.
I was born in a shack next to a railroad.
And then
My mama knew all the sailors, and my daddy was a Rolling Stone, actually. And then I had my bar mitzvah, and that was the end.
No,
There
then
we
you're
are.
supposed to go. Then you gotta play it down like, and then. Listen,
Well,
we've had a tough life as white Jewish males.
I was made fun of in my day. I went to a school that had a Jewish quota, an anti-Jewish quota.
You mean they weren't allowed? They didn't want Jews there.
They had one black male and female at each grade level.
Yes.
It was very obvious.
Mhm.
And the male was always a running back. Ezekiel Elliott was one of them. And his sister was another one. And then I think the number was no more than 7% Jews, because if it went by scholastics, we would have taken over the whole school.
Ezekiel's less than half your age.
I didn't say we went at the same time,
Oh,
but if you looked, it was a 6-year prep school, and at every grade level, there was no more than one black male and one black female, and we always had great star running back. So it was very kind of, that's how they ran the school. What can I tell you?
interesting.
Fascinating story, isn't it? What are we
Yes.
talking about? Quotas, racism, anti-Jewish, anti-Semitism. And anyway, why don't we change the subject to something?
Well, there's always a way to end a stream, and misery is the best way, I believe.
And on a low note,
It's the easy way to get everyone off the stream watching is to talk about how horrible your life is.
my son we had to take one of the BMWs in yesterday. We only have two, but one of them is kind of old. This is true story. Anyway, the pool was a little bit murky last week. I had to have the guy come out twice. He apologized.
And how sour did your caviar taste today?
I had to send it back. Did Tim Allen say something worth?
No, Tim is a old soul.
We watched an old movie today, and I can't remember what it was. It was Straight No Chaser, I think.
Well, I should be watching more movies than I do, but my work has got me bogged down. So
if you watch movies all day long, you don't really.
I was trying to watch, which I was liking, In the Heights. I watched about a half hour of the movie, and I was liking it. It was good. So that's my story. And then I'm a sports person, so I was watching some sports. So
Basketball.
Some basketball tomorrow. I was watching some baseball today.
I'm more into baseball. My son watches all of the above, but he's a huge baseball fan. I told you he works adjacent to the baseball industry. I was going to tell you my Donald Sterling story. Remember Donald Sterling?
The ex-owner of the Clippers, yes.
Yeah.
Big racist.
Well, before that was known widely, I worked for a gentleman who who was befriending him at this agency I used to work at.
Mm-hmm.
And they were two birds of a feather because they're both 80-ish year old, very wealthy Jewish men. So they were, what's the word when you're in your own kind? If that's your friends, it's a very small group of friends, right?
Yeah.
So my guy was trying to befriend Donald Sterling and get in his good graces, thinking there would be some business connections. And so, like, he bought season tickets to the Clippers. He never went. He's not going to go to a baseball game. He's 89.
Basketball.
Yeah. What did I say? That's
Baseball.
sport. Basketball. Yeah. So I got to use the season tickets and sit behind Billy Crystal. And so then my boss gave Donald Sterling this big award. He has this big award shtick at the Beverly Hilton every year. And he just gives awards to his friends because it looks good in the Beverly Hills newspaper. So Donald Sterling Lifetime Achievement Award of whatever. It's just made up bullshit.
Well, he used to run those ads in the LA Times.
I'm glad you asked that.
Give them fake awards to himself.
My boss, all those little pictures of those people.
Yeah. Yeah.
My boss had to give him a bunch of money to be in there.
Yeah. They was all fake.
And he said,
he gave himself fake awards. Donald Sterling.
They both gave each other fake awards, but my boss said, Greg, take my picture for the newspaper for Donald Sterling. So I'm taking a picture of this guy. He can't smile. It's like he never had been asked to smile. So I took the picture of, I'll tell you his name later, the guy, and it only ran for like a couple of weeks before the whole thing fell apart when Donald Sterling started N-wording it up.
Yeah.
Right. So that big buildup to be best friends with Donald Sterling, and then his sort of empire crumbled, weeks later. And then, so the Clippers were forced to sell away from Sterling was forced to sell the Clippers
to Steve Ballmer.
And Steve Ballmer turned out was a client of the company I work at now.
Yeah.
So we went and wrote insurance on all the Clippers guys. So I was at the beginning and end of that transaction. I was on the Sterling side. Then he got kicked out. And then I had a minor connection.
I honestly believe you should print up business cards. It says Greg, the vinyl.
Somebody famous.
Clippers adjacent.
I'm not a real basketball fan. I've been to one Clippers game and maybe 2 or 3 Lakers games. Been to a lot of baseball games. But that story in the world of LA, that's not that great of a story. Because you probably had lunch with Steven Spielberg or something. It's probably better. You got better stories than me.
I actually had lunch with Daniel Sterling.
With which one?
Daniel Sterling. I had lunch with him.
Not Donald.
No, his brother Daniel.
I didn't know he had a brother Daniel. He had a son, I think, who died in the middle of this story. Pretty sure. Drugs or something.
He was he's a waste of flesh. He's a horrible human being.
And yet he won the Lifetime Achievement Award for being.
Yeah, he gave it to himself.
No, my boss gave him the award.
Yeah.
My boss gave him the award every year to
years and years of him giving himself awards.
But some of these awards, the celebrity actually pays for the privilege of having the award so they can get their name in the paper.
No, well, the Hollywood Walk of Fame is all about that. They pay for that.
Yeah, it's like it's only $5,000 or $10,000. It's not that much.
Oh, cool. I know that's a drop in the bucket to you.
For a big time celebrity who makes $10 million on a movie, they should be charging $100,000 for the Walk of Fame. All
right. Well,
enough.
It might be time. Enough. It might be time to wrap it up. It's getting close to I have to go through my whole regimen before I go to sleep.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Don't tell me. Make a video, but don't show us.
I have to put on the moisturizer and then take off the. I brush my teeth. I brush my teeth and wash my face. That's it.
You don't do a mud pack?
I feel bad that Ron's been watching this whole time.
Ron, we forgot to tell you about the big giant speakers we saw in Long Beach. Someday we'll tell you, Ron.
Oh, I will mention this to you, Greg, but I thought there's a guy, that Danny Kaye guy, who does videos with Michael 45 RPM. I got to go down to. He invited me down to his house in Long Beach, so I went down there,
Yeah.
and he melted my face with his setup. It was like, it was silly. It
He's got
was
fancy
silly.
stuff.
I'll tell you more because it's for him to disclose. Hey, take care, Tim. Take care, Ron. Have a good evening. So, yeah, these speakers are obscene. You
What
know,
brand?
basically what we saw when we went to the Hi-Fi show, but much better than those.
You don't know brands?
Wilson.
I know Wilson. Some of their speakers are 100,000 a pair.
Well, so I have this album. I don't know if I showed you. It's the Les Paul album that I'm trying to find out. Did I tell you about my Les Paul album?
Mm-mm.
I don't want to get up, but here's what I was able to uncover. I found it at a Goodwill. It's a double disc greatest hits set that was put out in 76. I do know that Les Paul retired for 10 years previous. I think his wife had passed away and he just wasn't into it anymore. And then Chet Atkins coaxed him out of retirement, and he did a couple albums with him in 76. From just me guessing, I assume that Les Paul re-recorded all his hits so he would have ownership of them. You know, whoever had the other recordings, I think Capitol in them.
Mm-hmm.
And this album was independently released, but immediately pulled from circulation. I tried doing some detective work online, and I found someone had posted 2 of the songs from the album on YouTube, and in the description said that Capitol forced Les Paul to pull the album. So as a cheap person, I was just trying to value my album. And I've gone to people in the industry and tried to find out if this story is true. But as a side note, Danny said, bring down some albums to listen to. We put on this Les Paul album, which is not high fidelity by any stretch. And, you know, for 1976, not the best pressing. It blew my mind how good this album sounded on his setup. Crazy good. That I was hearing things, because, you know, Les Paul has the things he invented, right? They kind of give reverb.
He invented multi-track recording, right?
Yeah, but it makes his guitar sound like a keyboard, too. He does those other things. Like a chiming and stuff. This album's out insane. So he's such a special guy for not knowing me like you. You don't know me from a hole in the wall. The fact that you would socialize with me off camera and trust that I wouldn't, hack you up into a million pieces.
I have to do community service for 2 hours a week, so that was it.
Oh, sting.
That was a joke.
Yeah. But, I ingratiated himself to me because one of his dogs is a rescue dog who he says does not take to people. And I'm one of these guys who I think I put out pretty negative, but for some reason, kids and dogs just come to me. So the dog just sat in my lap and let me pet it. And he was like, it blew his mind. He had to take a picture of it to show his wife that this dog who doesn't really take to people. So yeah, that's my story. It's as good as your Donald Sterling story. So
well, it may be better, but Wilson Audio, that was that CD that I got at the store, that $100 CD.
Oh, it's from Wilson.
Same company, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So Wilson makes, I've heard there are $100,000 speakers that are like 6-7 feet tall.
I mean,
they have a half size one that's only 30,000.
Right off the stream, I'll tell you some stuff he told me that it just was crazy. But he said, I will say, he said when they came to set it up, it took them a day and a half to set it up in his house.
They weigh like 300 or 400 pounds.
Besides the girth and size of it, just to angle it properly.
And they do automotive paint, so you can get it in bright green and red and is a weird color.
Well, if you watch his channel, he shows them. They're white.
What's his? Danny
Sonic Flare. Sonic Flare.
Sonic Flare. I couldn't remember that.
Sonic,
Why couldn't I remember that?
Yeah.
It's not difficult.
because you're old and feeble-minded.
That's possible. Sonic Flare. This guy. I've never seen him.
He
There they
does,
are. Wilson's. Yeah. I
he
recognize
does,
them as
he
Wilson's.
does it with Four Corners with Michael 45 and Mazzy. He's done that once or twice. He does a lot of videos with Michael 45. They just interviewed Kevin Gray. Watch that video. It's good.
Wow. I see the Wilsons right behind him.
He
Kind of hard
lives-
to believe that's the setup because it's
Yeah,
right next
I mean,
to the wall.
he was so gracious, and it just floored me that I could listen to it. I brought my Quiet Kenny that I got from Record Store Day. Turned
Mhm.
it off.
Wow. I'm a little jealous.
Well,
That
why would you be jealous of me?
you got to go listen to Wilson's in a controlled environment, up close. I've listened to him at these shows
Well,
with a room full of 50 people, and then you get ushered out.
Okay. Maybe as our friendship grows, I will say,
Put in a good word for me.
hey, look, I turned you on to Gus's Fried Chicken.
You did. I appreciate that.
It's a memory that sticks with you, right?
We had soul food together. My wife wants to know why I'm keeping that cup. I don't have an answer for her, but I'm keeping it anyway.
Well, from what the conversations we had, I gather that your wife wants to know a lot of things, why you do what you do.
This is how marriage works.
Well, I to my unfortunateness for me, do not have that. So, but I understand that. But when we were going through Goodwills and you go, my wife's not gonna like me bringing this home. Yeah.
What are you gonna do with all this stuff? She says. What are you doing with all that stuff? What do you need all that stuff for? Our house is full of stuff. If I buy 5 to 10 records and CDs a week, and I've lived in this house 20 years, you do the math.
Why would you buy that many?
Because they're a good price.
No, yeah, but they're mostly crap. Not crappy albums, just in crap condition. They're not worth owning.
I learned that only in the last year have I learned that I'm doing it wrong.
Well, from what I gather in the last couple of weeks, you did purchase some things that you could flip for a nice profit.
The stuff from today I can flip. Who doesn't love this lady? I think I think it's $30.
I have several CDs that on Discogs are worth something.
Mm-hmm.
No one has bought them.
They just sit there forever and ever.
Yes.
Or eBay. I got this close to starting my first eBay auction today.
Do it right after you do it. It's easy to begin with. It literally takes me about 5 minutes to post something. 5 minutes to post. Like I bought the Moonstruck soundtrack for $3, posted it, sold it for $30.
Do you do it a week or a 5-day?
No, I don't know. Most of the times I just sell it for a price. I price it out on Discogs. Then I also see what other people are selling it for on eBay because people are gonna compare shop. So that's how I come to a price.
Maybe I'll do that tomorrow.
Sometimes if I think if it's not selling, I will also put best offer and let people offer me. Like I just sold an album that I had priced at a price and it wasn't selling and I put best offer. Someone offered me what I thought was fair and then I sold it. So,
well, that's one of my new projects.
It allows me to be able to participate in this hobby. If I didn't have this kind of contrived way of, it allowed me to buy the Beatles album I got because they goofed up on shipping me stuff. So, but I'm also very smart about how I buy stuff. Like I'm waiting for next week when it's Amazon Day. I'm almost certain they're going to have a special on like buy two get one free on albums or something.
Amazon Day. What is
Yeah,
that? A
21st.
holiday? Bezos' birthday.
It's Prime Day, 21st and 22nd.
Why do we celebrate Prime Day?
You know what? You're asking questions you should know the answer to.
Why is this day unlike every other day? Is the question. I have no idea. I didn't know there was a Prime Day.
I don't know, but if you're going to start singing like a cantor, I'm leaving. I'm leaving anyway.
Let's wrap it up. Let's roll the credits and thank everybody and thank my assistant producer and makeup lady. And the band is going to play us out. And I'm going to end the broadcast in a couple seconds here. So unless anybody jumps in with something, 5, 4, 3.